the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth kind of love. It's the truth. It's the truth. It's the true kind of love.
With 5 seasons finished, all that's left is the epilogue, Steven Universe's Future. I want you to know that I was actually looking forward to reviewing the Steven Universe Future episodes, even though that people have mixed opinions towards the epilogue. Not because of the fact that I'm going to be revisiting the final 4 episodes the same way I did with Change Your Mind yesterday, but at the same time, this epilogue really had a special place in my heart because it's one of the sources that got me into Steven Universe in the first place. Even though my opinions have changed 4 years after I watched this epilogue for the first time, I really feel like that with this wrapping up Steven Universe Marathon is honestly the same feeling that I had when I wrap up my binge watch of the Steven Universe series 4 years ago, since I stopped watching the show after watching all the episodes in September, and since that we're into September, it really feels accurate to have Summerpalooza 4 wrap up just before autumn arrives. Granted, 4 years ago, I stopped watching the epilogue after watching all the episodes almost 2 weeks before autumn, but still. Getting into the first episode of the epilogue is Little Homeschool, where Steven and the Crystal Gems recruit multiple gems all over the universe to go to Little Homeworld in order to start their lives better than what they ended up going in the original series. I would say that Little Homeworld would give School of Friendship from Friendship is Magic a 1 for their money, but at the same time, this came out after My Low Point Friendship is Magic came to an end, and this is mostly a college setting rather than a high school setting. Yes, Steven Universe the movie did came out before My Low Point Friendship is Magic came to an end, but at the same time, the location wasn't really the main focus, since it was mainly Steven's problem with Spinel after her memory got wiped out, and the fact that it's centered around Bismuth, Lapis, and Peridot having a scene in the movie while trying to figure out a solution in order to fix Steven's problem. Now, getting into the main plot of the episode is that while every single gem has gone to Little Homeworld, all except one, and that is Jasper, who refuses to go, despite Steven trying to talk things out with her. After the series, when Jasper got back to normal in the finale, I really feel like that this episode, after rewatching it, sums up a lot that no matter what Jasper does when it comes to the aftermath of the original series, she can't be able to be like everyone else, and yet at the same time when Steven tries to help her out, it doesn't make a difference. Granted, when it comes to the Fragments episode, which really rubbed me the wrong way, mainly the ending, I really feel like that this is a good direction when it comes to Jasper's progression, when it comes to this being part of the epilogue. And as for Steven, since that after the events of the original and the movie, this is the beginning of his trauma coming into play, except that in this case it really centers around what his future is going to be like in comparison to the multiple characters who have their own futures. And I have to say that for how he's developed in this episode, when he's being nice by giving gems a chance in order to work their own lives at Little Homeworld, I really feel like that Steven really didn't have the knowledge of what his future is going to be like, considering that for how things have been changing and how he's gotten older, I'm really starting to think that he just isn't going to be mature forever. Because as far as I'm concerned, for how mature he was in the majority of plots in the original, this is the beginning of his breaking point. Even though it's not shown in this, and it's established in the movie that he wants his story to come to an end, but at the same time, when it comes to the aftermath, this really feels like the Disney's direct-to-DVD sequels done right, in a scenario where you actually understand the character's progression and development. I'm gonna be one of the only people who will actually defend Steven's character in future, even though it's not saying much considering that the majority of it are fans of the original that gave up on this show due to the epilogue itself, but I'm not one of those people who got into the series from the original. It was this epilogue itself, and that's mainly I Am My Monster, which we're gonna get to once we get to it. To tell you the truth, every time I look at this, it sums up a lot that Steven's development when it comes to his epilogue sums up that he isn't going to be a nice character forever, and even though that people still view him as the character that we all remember from the original series, the way I see it, for how this franchise had been taking some serious situations when it comes to the characters, I can guarantee you that Steven has a serious situation involving himself, knowing full well that he's just like the other characters who have their own situations that Steven helped from time and time again. And with how the intro is an indicator on what has yet to come in this epilogue, I really feel like that despite this epilogue deserving more episodes, I really feel like that it did what it could in order to be a good epilogue. I'm just saying, the production of this wasn't as severe as the production of Season 5, but at the same time, I think it sums up a lot that this should at least have 40 episodes rather than 20 episodes. With that being said, I'm giving this episode an 8 out of 10, and we kickstart the epilogue with only 14 episodes to go.